Good day, ma'am. My name is Francis Dana Bersaldo from Pitogo Cluster. This is my report about the economic insecurity intricacy of the Bangsamoro struggle by Bobby Tuazon. The Bangsamoro struggle for independence and self-determination. Resistance against Spanish and U.S. colonialism, 16th century to 20th century. The armed uprising, 1950s. Resurgence of independence and separatist armed rebellion, with the National Liberation Front of MNLF, late 1960s to 1980s. The Anti-Terrorist War, ployed by the scramble for the Bangsamoro province land and bountiful economic resources. Southern Mindanao's gas, oil, and other energy resources are now being coveted by the U.S., as also as Australia, Malaysia, China, and other countries. Through the countries, colonialism and war in Mindanao have been ignited by greed for its land, resources, and strategic location. The U.S. military strategy dictates its underlying objective and establishing basing facilities using the convenient route of the war of terrorism. Resources. In Southeast Asia, Mindanao is among the natural resource of rich areas and the most well-endowed island of the Philippines, with rich deposit gold, nickel, zinc, and manganese. It is a country's leading producer of banana, pineapple, corn, coffee, and coconut export. Other cultural products include rubber, palm oil, and cotton. Aside from energy and mining, resources is also abundant in timber and marine and fishing resources with seaweeds and tuna as a major export. It also damn as a rice bowl. Island was open to commercialization of agriculture, particularly fruit and sugar plantation led by U.S. multinational firms such as Del Monte, Dole, and United Brands. For decades, the island's timber resources made the Philippines together with Indonesia and Malaysia and a major source of hardwood exports. Beginning in the Over the past 2 decades, Mindanao has built as a major source of energy resources, enticing the cash-strapped government to open the island for foreigner exploration and exploitation. Mindanao has been experiencing increasing energy demands but decreasing supplies. It has a huge portion of the country's oil and natural gas deposit. Much of this found in more populated territories, most notably in Lagusan Marsh, Philippines' largest swamp and marsh area. In June 2008, ExxonMobil, the world's largest oil and gas company, was set to explore or crude oil deposit in Sulu Sea, southern Mindanao, which is also hosts one of the World Heritage Site, the Bahataha Reef National Marine Park. The company's crude oil exploration would cost $110 million. U.S. economic objectives. The U.S. increasing economic presence in the southern Philippines and interlocked with U.S. policies that mark the island as part of the bigger trade map in the South Asia. The U.S. links its foreign assistance program with the transforming the region through the mechanics of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, the Asian Pacific Economic Corporation, and the bilateral agreements as open markets satisfy the objects of U.S. economic growth. By engaging deeply both bilaterally and through regional organizations such as APEC, Forum, and ASEAN, we can encourage the region to open its markets further. Success with this goal will increase prospect for continued growth and the prosperity. We need to stay involved in the region and assure that we use aid both pursue bilateral policy object and shape emerging regional institution in a manner congruent with U.S. interests. Glenn Davis, U.S. State Department Principal Deputy Assistant for Asian and Pacific Affairs in a strategic framework for U.S. Foreign Assistant Statement, September 22, 2007. Davis' statement revealed the U.S. government's foreign assistance in Mindanao, which is facilitated by USAID, integrate terrorism with making island an open market of U.S. trade and investment. In 2001 to 2005, 60% of USAID $220 million grant to the Arroyo government in Mindanao. In the same month, the USAID released 5 years $190 million grant that will be used expand market-oriented and private initiated 8 economic opportunities in Mindanao. Development project and the Joint U.S.-Philippine Mindanao Peace and Development and Assistance Agreement. U.S. aggressive military presence. Mindanao lies at a strategic point not only in relation to Southeast Asia but also near strategic trade routes Malacca, Sunda, Lombok, and Makassar Straits. Commerce including energy shipment that trade through the routines and worth some $1.3 trillion. Even before, the Bush administration stepped up U.S. military presence in southern Philippines with the object of fighting terrorists. American security forces had been deeply involved in the conflict in Mindanao. Its involvement in the foreign military aid to the Philippines government that include training and equipping the armed forces in the Philippines. It is a fight against the communist-led New People's Army and against that Moro National Liberation Front MNLF and later Moro Islamic Liberation Front MILF. The September 11, 2001 attacks in the U.S. lead and the U.S. government linking Al-Qaeda, the prime terrorist suspect in the 9/11 bombings. The terrorist cells in the Mindanao, especially Abu Sayyaf and the rest of Southeast Asia, terrorist suspect as arrested in the region. U.S. authorities said admitted by training in MILF camp. The Visiting Force Agreement, VFA 1999 and other executive agreements substantially signed between the two governments including the Manual Linguistic Support Agreement 2002 and the Major Non-NATO Ally MNNA agreement laid the ground for a permanent temporary basing facility for the U.S. force in the southern Philippines. Aggravating the depending U.S. military presence in the southern Philippines and the operation conduct being considered as an aggravating factor to the armed conflict and security situation in the region. The government of the Philippines created a terrorist operation and MILF forced into the skirmish resulting in violation of human rights of civilians. After years of total war operation is done while at first Arroyo in the early stage of their presidency announced an all-out peace policy in the Mindanao was subsequently replaced by an all-out war policy in 2002 against not only Bangsamoro civils but also NPA and military hawk advocating military victory against Abu Sayyaf and MILF and NPA as well. In this historical event, it can be said that no matter how strong the terrorist force are, our soldiers will win the war for our country and the peace. In this report, we can see how rich our country and for peace. In this report, we can see how rich our country always appreciate everything we have.